Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and today is Thursday, May 14th, 2020. The tarot card for today is the Emperor from the Phantasma Tarot by artist Paulina Cassidy. This beautiful deck is due out later this year from US Game Systems. The timeliness of this card today absolutely astounds me, but then again, it always does. And you have been feeling this for a while, but it is changing. This card is representative of the establishment, structure, authority figures, like your government. And no, this is not a political post. This is about those rules and regulations, right? So you've all been feeling this for a while now, but it's been a good 2 months, right? And before I continue, if you're following me on TikTok and you want to hear everything I have to say, hop over to Instagram, YouTube, or Podbean, or your favorite podcast provider, and you can listen to it in its entirety. Okay, so yesterday, all right, what's happening here? Yesterday, we saw Venus go retrograde, right, in the sign of Gemini through June 25th, joining Pluto and Saturn. We also saw Mars leave Aquarius and move into Pisces, where it is less effective, but lends itself more to creativity and intuition. Now, our Emperor card, guess what, is ruled by Mars. So today being the first day that Mars is in Pisces, the first full day, it seems very appropriate for this to be here. And it also, there's a change in tone. All right, I'm going to try not to complicate this, but while Mars was in Aquarius, right, and yesterday you heard me mention, the moon being in Aquarius, and that Aquarius, loves freedom, all right? So what did you see for, these past 6 weeks? People bucking the system, people, in conflict with the government. Which way is it going to go now? We're going to see. Will things quiet down? Will the rules be relaxed? All right. There's a big shift going on here. And as I mentioned yesterday, we have a really obvious and glaring thing going on here. It's like a 6-week cycle, okay? Mars is in Pisces through the 27th of June, and Venus, as I said, will be retrograde through June 25th. And trust me, there's a whole lot more that's going to take place before we get to June 27th. So fasten your seatbelts, because it's going to be a wild and bumpy ride. But where you come out of this in late June, I talk about this on Patreon in long range. I think I've even gone as far as to talk about, where things are by the end of the year. So there's a lot that is happening as a result of what is taking place now. So when you think about this card, the structure, the authority, what it represents in your life, it doesn't have to be your government. It can be, rules that you live by in your apartment complex, at your job, okay? Anywhere where there is an authority figure. But this is also a card of protection, okay? And you have to understand that as well, okay? And it tends to go hand in hand with those good old rules and regulations. Why do people impose them in the first place? Probably because something went wrong, and experience has taught them that in order to protect people, that you need to regulate certain things to make sure that there is safety, whatever could be safety on your job. So maybe you're finally being allowed to return to work, but with a whole new set of circumstances, rules that are being laid down that say, you can be here, but you have to do it this way, that type of thing. There's a lot of this going on, and I really didn't want to call out any sign specifically, but when I started looking at this card and thinking about what is happening in this cycle of 6 weeks, because there's a lot of things that I have seen coming, okay, and this bears with that story. And what I will say is that when it comes to those in the sign of Gemini, who are influenced, whether it's their sun sign or their rising sign, etc., that, first of all, Venus is retrograde in Gemini the entire time, the whole cycle, the pre-shadow, the post-shadow, the whole thing. So Gemini types are really going to be affected by this. I should say feeling less effective, okay? Because, with retrograde, you very often get that repeat, redo, and, having to go over things again. But then there's Mars, represented by this Emperor, okay? Let's think about this for a minute. Will this, because it's Gemini's career house, will this affect the Gemini's career because Mars in Pisces is less effective? Or will it give those Geminis extra energy to pursue their goals? You see what's going on here? We got a couple of things, and I think that when you look around, those are the people that you're going to see affected the most by what is happening, because it falls in career and also, as I said, with Venus. So there's a lot to take in right now, and how it plays out obviously depends upon an individual. But those who are of that sign, or affected by any Gemini influence, yeah, I would pay close attention, because those areas are currently being highlighted over the next 6 weeks. But as for the general population, I would say that today, like most other days recently, that there will be, new sets of rules that are put forth, regulations that are put into place. But they are changing, they are evolving. And as I said, this is a 6-week cycle that we're in. And it's an extremely important one. I can't even begin to emphasize that, because by the time we get to July 22nd, so much has happened. So stay tuned and come back and listen to the rest of the story. I want to thank you all very much for being here. I'll see you here again tomorrow. And as always, have a great day.